A grown man, jersey soaked, face buried in his hands, crying like he just lost someone he loved. And the thing is, he kind of did. We've all seen it. Maybe you've even felt it. That moment when the final whistle blows and your team is out of the World Cup, and something inside you just breaks. People around you might laugh. It's just a game, they say. But if you've ever felt that pain, you already know. It was never just a game. And there's a real reason for that, a psychological one. And once you hear it, you'll never see those tears the same way again. Point 1. Here's something most people don't realize. Your brain doesn't fully separate you from your team. There's something called social identity theory. Basically, humans naturally attach their sense of self to the groups they belong to. And for football fans, that group is the team. When Brazil plays, you don't just watch Brazil. You become Brazil. Their win feels like your win. Their loss? That's your loss too. Personally. Deeply. So when that last-minute goal goes in and your team is eliminated, your brain processes it almost like a personal failure. Not theirs. Yours. That's why the tears aren't dramatic. They're genuine. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Point 2. Think about what the World Cup actually represents for most fans. It only comes once every 4 years. That's not just a tournament. That's hope that was carried for 1,400 days. People plan around it. Families gather. Old friendships come alive. There's this invisible emotional investment that builds quietly over years, and then in 90 minutes, it's either released as joy or it crashes as grief. Real grief. The kind your body physically feels. Psychologists actually call this anticipatory emotional investment. The longer you wait and hope for something, the harder the fall when it doesn't come. And the World Cup? Nothing builds anticipation longer. But wait, there's something even deeper going on underneath all of this. Point 3. For a lot of fans, football isn't just sport. It's identity, culture, home. An Argentinian fan watching Messi isn't just watching a player. He's watching his country, his pride, his childhood street games. When Argentina lost in 2014, people weren't just sad about a football match. They were grieving something that felt tied to who they are, where they come from, what they believe about themselves. That kind of loss hits a place words can barely reach, which brings us to the final piece, and this one might surprise you most. Point 4. Crying after a loss isn't weakness. Psychologically, it's actually your mind protecting you. When emotional pain gets too intense, the brain needs a release valve. Tears are exactly that. They lower cortisol, the stress hormone, and signal to your nervous system that it's safe to let go. People who cry after the loss often feel clearer, calmer, and more at peace within hours. People who suppress it carry that tension for days, so the fan sobbing in the stands isn't falling apart. His mind is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. The next time someone cries over football, maybe even the next time you do, understand what those tears are really saying. They're not saying, "I'm weak." They're saying, "I cared enough to feel this fully." In a world where most people protect themselves from feeling too much, that kind of vulnerability is actually rare. The ones who never cry probably never let themselves love it the way you did. And maybe that's the real loss.